Yo, it's your boy, Orion, one half of the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video. Today's new video, live stream. Is Joe Burrow the number one pick in the NFL draft and his Bengals the most improved NFL team going into 2020? Or is it someone else? A reaction with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or our GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. So I'm going to be going over some of the teams, players, the impact guys as we're going to be going into 2020. Right now, they got the Vikings and the Seahawks on NFL Network. I've been doing a lot of research, a lot of game film. I worked a full day today until 4 p.m. Pacific time at the warehouse, and I wanted to come up with a good idea for a show. I've been doing a lot of NFL top fives, and I am going to incorporate that into the show. Is Joe Burrow and the Bengals the most improved NFL team in 2020? Question mark, question mark. Is he? Are they? Or is it someone else? Comment below who you think it may be. Your team? Maybe another team that you don't like in your division? Who could it be? And I'm going to give you my NFL top 5 most improved teams in 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or our GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. How is everybody doing today? It's a hump day. It's Wednesday. We're in the middle of the week, so we're getting closer and closer to the weekend. But like I said, we don't have a preseason, so I'm going to be banging out a lot of these live streams, a lot of reaction videos, just keeping things fresh and fun, informative. And I'm going to bring the fire, I'm going to bring the passion, and you know I'm doing my film study after work. I'm reading a lot of articles, and I'm going to give you just a raw take with no bias on the 5 main teams that I think that are going to be the most improved going into 2020 from last year. And the main question is Joe Burrow the number one pick in the draft and the Bengals the most improved NFL team in 2020? Or is it someone else? A NFL top 5 most improved teams in 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. So let me go here and just acknowledge everyone that's in the room before I get into my list and why. Javon Wright, yo, what it do? Panthers in the building. Ryan Schrick, Chiefs Kingdom in the building. Stand up. Ryan Schrick is in the house. Javon says first. Well, were you first? First to comment, possibly, but will you be the first one to be last in the room at the end? We will see. Luis Melendez Jr., what to do, my guy? He said, Panthers, Javon Wright, Panthers. Well, I'm not sure if they're going to really be the most improved. Probably the team that's going to have the most challenge, the team that might have to fight the most adversity. You know, they have a brand new coach, brand new coordinators. Everything is brand new. No Cam Newton, right? No Luke Kuechly. It's going to be a lot of adversity that they're going to have to fight. But it may take them a couple years to get their feet settled. But I kind of like where they're going, the direction of they're going. I mean, you got to. I mean, you're blowing it up and you're starting over. So it may not be this year where you're competitive. But if you can at least beat the Falcons, then at least you can kind of, you know, go in the pecking order with the Saints, the Bucks, the Panthers, and the Falcons. But maybe the Falcons will be a little bit better than people think. We don't really know just yet. Official Young Nola in the building. Nolan Saints, what to do? Louise says Raiders. They will have an improved team. Did they make my list? You will have to wait and see. Chiefs will be the most improved. Instead of winning by 11 in the Super Bowl, we'll win by 30. Ooh, that's confidence right there. Nola says, say, bro, I got a question. How you think Sanders going to do this year? Oh, he's going to do great. You know, you watched the live stream yesterday, and I had him in my top 5. He's going to, I mean, I'm not sure if he's necessarily going to break out. He's always been a very good wide receiver. I mean, you don't just go to the Super Bowl with Big Ben and the Steelers, and then go with Peyton Manning and the Broncos, and then go with the 49ers and Jimmy G, and now you have an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl with Drew Brees and your New Orleans Saints. So if they end up accomplishing that feat, I mean, that's just an amazing career. How many guys could say that they've gone to 4 Super Bowls with 4 different teams. I mean, this is huge. You know what I mean? But I think he is going to show out. He will take a little bit away from Michael Thomas and take a little bit away from Jared Cook. But to be honest, I don't think anybody cares. I mean, as long as they can win some playoff games and get further, get to the NFC Championship game, and this time win, I mean, that's really all that matters. I mean, once you get to the bowl, you want to win. I'm not sure if I like their chances if they play the Ravens or the Chiefs this season, but I mean, if you get there with the deep team that you have, I mean, you got as good of a chance as anyone else in the NFC to compete with the Ravens and Chiefs, which I feel are going to be the representatives in the AFC Championship game, or one of those two will be the representative of the AFC crown this season, and for many seasons moving forward, to be very honest. Javon says Panthers. Lenny D in the building. What to do? HBK's birthday today, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. So I was on it early with all the memes and the GIFs and everything on Twitter. You know, had to let my boy know what it is. And then we did a little Eddie Guerrero back and forth. We lie, we cheat, we steal. You know, wrestling was good today. AEW Dynamite. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. He is wrestling. I'm not sure if any of you saw that AEW earlier today, but he got power bombed onto tacks, like 100 of them, and they were like sticking into his skin and his back. They have a lot of things on social media about it, but I mean, I'm just telling you, that's the reason why AEW is Cody Rhodes, and it's so much better than WWE in my opinion right now. We'll see what happens when the fans come back, but definitely entertaining, and I'll have to try to catch NXT after I do this live stream. Lenny D, fly Eagles fly, my boy, what to do? Ray, PSA cards, what to do? He said we'll have to see on Burrow's play. I don't think he's going to be as dominant as he was at LSU, but I think he's going to be very good, and I think he's really going to open some eyes, and I think they're going to have one of the surprising offensive kind of teams, cliques, you know, how they have like the NWO, New World Order, you know, they have the little faction. The Bengals got themselves a nice little kind of contingency unit. You know, you got Joe Burrow, you got Joe Mixon, comeback player of the year, AJ Green, right? You got T. Higgins, you know, and he's on the outside there. He can be inside or outside with his size and his hands from Clemson. Then you got the burner, John Ross, and then you got Avoid the Boyd, Tyler Boyd. I mean, I'm really liking what they got for pieces on offense. Eifert's not there anymore, but that guy always got hurt, so I mean, it doesn't really matter on that end. But as far as just kind of the nucleus and the core for Joe Burrow year one going in, that's a lot of talent. And they started to play pretty good football last season. I know they lost a lot of games, but I kind of saw some glimpses of some greatness from time to time. And Andy Dalton, you know, he had his time. Now it's the Joe Burrow era, and I'm really excited to watch him play. To be honest, I'm just as excited to watch him play as, you know, Justin Herbert, my boy, because I'm an Oregon Duck fan through and through. But I think if I had to rank them based on the excitement factor for me, it's Burrow 1, Tua 2, and then Herbert 3. And I imagine Burrow and Tua will start right away, I would assume, unless they decide to go like Ryan Fitzpatrick or they're going to go a different route. And then Herbert will probably have to stay on the bench for at least the first month behind Tyrod Taylor, but we will see. But I got a great show for you guys today. I'm going to keep acknowledging a few more of you as I keep going down in the comments, and I'm going to have a great show for y'all. Is Joe Burrow the number one pick and the Bengals the most improved team in the NFL in 2020? A NFL top 5 most improved teams in 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or our GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. Let's see here. Ryan Trick says you should react to more college superstar players. It all depends if I can work with someone, because if I start doing things through the NFL or through college football and their YouTube channels, they like to be really sketchy about things with monetization and blocking videos. So if I can work with like Highlight Heaven, me and him are cool. He's got a great channel. So me and Highlight Heaven, if he puts out certain NFL and college videos, I can do reactions to those and do analysis to those, breakdowns of those, and will be cool. But I need to be able to find more YouTubers that are reliable, that I have a relationship with, to be able to kind of bust out more film and more reaction videos. And it's just a matter of, the relationships you build on YouTube. But Highlight Heaven, make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. One of the best highlight packages for football, college football, and NFL, period. My boy, Highlight Heaven. All right, official NOLA, official young NOLA. Lenny is in the building. You guys can talk smack, Eagles, Saints, Eagles, until some Cowboys come in and let you know. Odin's Child, my guy, Chiefs Kingdom, stand up. My guy, the Young Bucks, put on a killer match on AEW Dynamite. I mean, it started off with fire, with Cody Rhodes in the beginning, with the thumbtacks all in his back. He had like 20 penetrated into his back, just blood everywhere, blood on his arms. Hell of a match. Young Bucks was great. Everything about AEW is just exciting to me. Like I said, I only get juiced up for NFL, college football, and AEW Dynamite. I absolutely love it. I'll probably end up watching it again since I ended up catching the East Coast feed on my phone through the TNT app, but I don't get it here until 8 o'clock my time, Pacific time. Same thing with NXT. So all y'all that live on the East Coast, I'm jealous because you guys get that shit 3 hours before I do. I'm just lucky enough I can sign in with my TV provider through the TNT app, and I can get the East Coast feed, so I'm very appreciative of that. But damn right, those Young Bucks. Damn right, Kenny Omega, the Elite. They are the best faction in wrestling. Facts. Lenny D says, Young Nola, what up, my guy? Starting off nice and cordial with the Saints and Eagles talk. We'll see where it goes as the night goes along. My boys, I hope you guys are doing great on this hump day, this Wednesday. Javon says, the Panthers are going 19-0, no cap. Oh, he said we don't need Scam Newton. You're going to turn your back on your boy so quickly? Just like that, he was Cam Newton. Now he's Scam Newton. Come on, Javon. Come on, my guy. Lenny D. Orion, I got to throw out my fly. Eagles fly for the day. So fly, Eagles fly. What to do? It's funny how I ended up posting about Marquise Goodwin, and then just in the morning, as soon as we both saw it, and then they come out with a brand new photo of him looking just slick in that new Eagles jersey. Very ironic. Like I said, a lot of times it's like I'll talk about something or think about something, and then a couple hours later or the next day, then you see something that's kind of relevant of that player. And that player wasn't even in the news. I mean, we haven't heard anything really Eagles talk from him. And it was just sort of weird how that ends up playing out. But I love it, man. I love being able to bring out the players that people aren't really talking about, and that's facts. Nathan Dotson in the building. Suppo Rizzle, I'm liking the consistency. Damn right, baby. Someone's got to give you the best NFL coverage on YouTube, period. I'm the biggest free agent on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any type of platform, especially YouTube. I'm going to give you the best, unbiased NFL coverage, period. You're going to learn something new. You're going to have fun. I'm going to bring the fire. I'm going to bring the energy. And I got a great show for you guys today. Lenny D, the GOAT, the birthday, HBK, Shawn Michaels, damn right. He said, are you ready for week 1, bro? Are you talking to me, Nola? Because you're getting that L, baby. You're getting the L, baby. I'm coming to the Dome. I'm getting a W. And I think some people are starting to believe that Tampa's going to get that W week 1. I'm not saying that I don't respect the Saints. I love them. I think that they're going to play great. They're probably the number 1 or number 2 team in the NFC right now, right? But I have no fear anymore. I'm not going to just go in thinking, shit, the game's over after the first quarter. There's no more. I'm going to the NFL draft in October after the first 4 games. I mean, I'm ready to win it. I'm ready to go to the playoffs. I'm ready to do big things. I mean, I've been on a drought since 2007, baby. I'm ready to be relevant again. AEW. He says, going old school, and I fucking love it, baby. AEW for life. I'm going to end up getting a T-shirt of the logo and a hoodie probably here within the next week or two. I definitely got to represent AEW on the channel. Absolutely love them. Odin's Child, the tax, coming out with the barbed wire bat with Mox. That was sick. Flipping back and forth, NXT AEW, the nostalgia really hit hard today. Damn right it did. Saints versus Green Bay, week 3. who you got. You heard fans can come to the Dome. Well, anyone can come to the Dome. And like I said, no one's going undefeated. I know we had this conversation yesterday, Nola. This is for someone like me, that's a little older than you, that I've been watching football, since 85. Teams don't just go undefeated. You got the 72 Dolphins, and that's it. And when we saw the Patriots, I believe it was like, '07? When they had Randy Moss, and they were just killing it. And then they ended up getting to the end, and then they ended up playing, the Giants after having such an amazing season. But, Eli Manning's Eli Manning, and he kind of spoiled that fun. But you just don't see teams go undefeated in the regular season that often. You don't see teams run the table and go undefeated for a full NFL season. It's just too much parity in the league, and especially if you end up having a first-round bye. In that last week, you might rest some of your guys, so that way that they can be healthy for that following playoff game, or a week off to rest the bodies for, the divisional following the wild card weekend the week before. And that's facts. Omer Muwich, Queen City Panthers in the building. Omer, what to do? Hopefully you're doing great. I've seen on Facebook with you and your son, you guys are spending a lot of time with each other. Panthers in the building, represent. I hope everything is going good for you and your family. I miss you. It's great to see you in the chat, and I hope to be able to see a lot of you as we go into this 2020 NFL season. A lot of changes, a new coach, Coach Rule. Riverboat Ron is out. You got a new coach, you got new coordinators, you got new everything there, but it will be exciting to see new coach, new quarterback, new coordinators, no Cam, no Kuechly, what the other guys can do, like Spida Burns, Brian Burns from Florida State from last year, Derek Brown from Auburn right up front. He could be kind of the Warren Sapp for your team up front, and I'm excited to see how he plays, as well as DJ Moore's development and Curtis Samuel. So we'll see how good that they do this season. Bang! Odin's Child, $10 donation. Get it started, my guy. Chiefs Kingdom, stand up in the building. Bang, bang, bang. I fucking love it. Odin's Child said Keith Lee made an important decision today. Well, don't spoil it for me. I'm going to have to watch it here pretty soon. Big Jim Cruz, my guy. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's go, fucking Eagles, in the building. Philly, stand up. What to do, Big Jim? Love you, appreciate you. Glad that you're in the building. Shriek, what are your sleeper teams? I'm going to get into my most improved teams. I got sleeper teams. I got all the teams, baby. Your boy's been grinding and researching and reading since I got home. So, I work an 8 or 9 hour day, tired, no problem. And then I get on the computer. I start watching film. I start going through all the team websites. I've been grinding for another, 3 hours. And then bang, I'm ready for a new show. And here I am, coming out with some original content for y'all to make sure that you guys have something NFL, better than NFL Network, better than ESPN, better than Fox Sports, something to keep you going. Did you like that with Brady? Said, did you do that with Brady? As far as what? Would Brady get that excited for Brady? Or think that I'm just going to be a playoff team? I mean, I do my research with it. I feel that with Tom Brady and Gronk, it's still unproven, especially with coronavirus and COVID-19. I'd feel a lot better with Tom Brady and my Bucks if we were able to have training camp. We were able to have practices. We were able to have fucking preseason, just like all of y'all. We need to be able to get some chemistry with our new guys, free agents, rookies, and have that chemistry. And one shitty thing about not having preseason, what about those guys that play really good in preseason, right, that can make a name for themselves, and then they end up making the team? It's like Kenny Golladay and a few of these other guys in the past. I remember watching them in preseason. I'm like, okay. And then they had 1 or 2 breakout games, and then they kind of made their name, fought hard, made the roster, and ended up having decent careers. So we're not going to have that this year, which is really shitty. So there's going to be about 300 guys, that are going to be out of a job NFL-wise on all the 32 teams, because they're going to limit the roster count, and which is kind of shitty. But, I guess with coronavirus, we got to be able to be safe. And I'd rather be safe and have a season than to try to push the limits and then have shit get canceled halfway through or a month in. But I absolutely love the fact that Brady's there. Gronk is there. Lot to prove, but we will have to see them really get it done. It's all about talk is one thing. Talent on paper is another, but you got to execute. But anyone that's better than Jameis Winston out there, I'm all for it. And that could have been probably 31 other quarterbacks not named Jameis Winston that I would be ecstatic about going into 2020. It just so happens I got my second favorite option in free agency. Ryan Tannehill was my number one. Tom Brady was my second choice, and then it happened, so it is what it is. Jomo in the building. What to do? Shrek says Scam Newton has been a scam since he stole teammates' laptop at University of Florida and got kicked off the team. Would have been another natty for UF, and I know you say that with a little bit of kind of anger in your heart because you are a big University of Florida Gator fan. And yeah, that team with all those guys that they had, some of the guys, Aaron Hernandez, and you go to all those guys that they had. I know we've seen the story on Twitter with some of those super teams with the Pouncey brothers and Tebow and all those guys that were all kind of mingled in together. God, they had just a superstar college football team. Some thugs, right? Some criminals, right? Some guys that were just not paying really attention to what they were doing, right? Some guys that took shit for granted, right? Some guys that just didn't give a fuck. But as far as talent-wise, that's one of those 2 or 3 year runs of University of Florida football was just off the chain as far as NFL talent. And I know I've seen a couple videos and documentaries and articles that I've read. And I know you read the same ones. But and then I got a little bitterness towards Cam Newton to a certain degree because he beat my Oregon Ducks and when he was at Auburn when I had the best chance of my championship in 2010 when I had LaMichael James. And I was like, come on, man, that was the year. That was the year, the best chance for the Ducks to bring the natty. I mean, we are starting to build something special, now with the coaching staff and with Mario Cristobal. We're starting to really recruit heavy in California, stealing away a lot of the talent from USC, which is nice, and some of the other big colleges. But, winning a big, a big championship title, if you're going to the Rose Bowl or if you're, winning the Pac-12, that's one thing. But the natty, that's SEC country. That's Big Ten country, a little out of our element. But I really do feel confident that in the next 5 to 10 years, the Oregon should be able to make at least one more or two more natties. I'm not saying they're going to win them. I hope they do, at least one, at some point. But, I mean, SEC talent, as we know, is typically superior. Big Ten talent normally is superior. But I feel it depends on who that Big Ten team is. If it's like Ohio State, typically superior, but if it's anyone else, Oregon typically can compete with the Michigans, the Wisconsins, and a few others, that are in the Big Ten, and that's facts. Kenneth in the building. He said, I think the weapons around Josh Allen, he could be a dark horse MVP candidate. What's your opinion? I think he can too. I think that the Bills have a great shot to be the third best team in the AFC, period. I like the Chiefs. I like the Ravens. I like the Bills. I like the development of Josh Allen getting better and the connection with Stephon Diggs. The opportunities that they're going to have with the rest of their roster. I'm really liking their running game, their core of their running backs, the wide receivers, the O-line, the defense, Coach McDermott. I think they really have everything from top to bottom that you would want, and they've been kind of thirsty, just salivating at the moment that obviously Tom Brady left, but then you bring in Cam Newton. So if the Bills are there, that the Patriots with Cam Newton, if he stays healthy, should still be in the running. I think Big Ben Revenge Tour, the Steelers will be in the running this year. I think they're going to have a fantastic season as well if they can keep their guys healthy. And there might be a couple sleeper teams like the Browns and a few others that kind of make some noise. But I do like the Bills. And on paper, when I see them, I like them better than the Patriots and the Steelers, and that's saying a lot. But I need Josh Allen to show me some fucking consistency. You need to be a little bit better than last season. And you got Diggs now, so there's not really an excuse. I mean, you got a number one wide receiver. We just need their guys to execute. And I like Josh Allen a lot. I like actually both Josh Allens. Josh Allen for the Bills, the QB, and I like the other Josh Allen on the Jags on the defensive side. But I think they're going to the playoffs this season, and I wouldn't be shocked if they dethrone the Patriots in the AFC East. But even if they don't, and Cam Newton plays like Super Cam, and he plays like an MVP, I still think the Bills are definitely 100% getting into the playoffs as a wild card. I would be completely shocked if the Bills don't make the playoffs this season. So I think that's a good analysis, Kenneth, by you. I do like him very well moving forward, not only for like the first half of the season, but I definitely think that he will be in the consideration for the MVP candidate because you got to think, for me, I'm feeling that the Bills have a good shot to win anywhere between 10 and 14 games. They may be a couple years away from winning 13 or 14, but I feel that the way that they're trending, Especially, I mean, you got the Chiefs and the Ravens, and those are 12, 13, 14, 15-win teams, it seems like, for who knows how long, right? But if there's any other teams that can kind of get into that category, it's definitely the Bills, the Pats, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, at least right now. But we have to see them prove it, and that's facts. Jomo says, Stone Cold Jones, we getting 2, 3, 4, 5. I know, it's getting crazy, and it's really tough to be able to get Super Bowls. And if you look at actually the people that have won, 5 Super Bowls, right, or more, you only have 4 teams. You got the Steelers with 6, right? You got New England Patriots with 6. From the AFC, those 2 teams there, the Dallas Cowboys with 5, and the San Francisco 49ers with 5. That's it. So the Chiefs got 1, right? They got 4 more to get to that point, but it shows you how hard it is to be able to get to that number. Patriots, Steelers, 6 apiece, Lombardies, Cowboys, Niners with 5. And then everyone else has less. So, I mean, I'm excited for their future, though, going forward, and that's facts. Odin's Child, it's going to be a hell of a season with no preseason. I know. It kind of upsets me a little bit, but the safety of the players is definitely important. Let's see. He said Jackrabbit going to lock Godwin down. You fucking kidding me, Nola? You need to go and watch the highlight package from Chris Godwin from last season. I don't think you realize how good Chris Godwin is. I told you that he broke out last season, and him and Michael Gallup were going to break out. Most people would say, if you watch football, Chris Godwin is a top 10 wide receiver out of all the receivers in the NFL right fucking now. He's got some of the best hands out of any wide receiver in the entire league. There is nobody on your defense, even Marshawn Lattimore. You are not going to contain or fucking stop Chris Godwin. And then I got Mike Evans on the other side, right? You got can't guard Mike, who's great, and you got Emmanuel Sanders, who's great. But as far as age and everything that I got a better duo with Evans and Godwin than Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, just based off Emmanuel Sanders' age. And that's just to me. Because if you look at the stats last year, Evans and Godwin finished both in the top 6 in the NFL. And then guess what? I got Brady now and I got Gronk. So there's going to be more looks, more double teams, you know what I mean? But you ain't going to stop Godwin, bro. Watch the tape. If you watched him at Penn State and you watched him in the Rose Bowl and you watched him play against USC, then you've seen him develop in his career. These Penn State kids are for real. You got nobody in your secondary that can lock up Godwin. And that's not trying to talk shit. That's just reality. That's facts. Godwin is a guy that can't guard Mike, you can't guard Godwin, and that's facts. The thing is, Allen showed improvement last year. I don't see why he can't be better this year. That's why I think he can be a dark horse. Agreed. And he's got Stephon Diggs, Kenneth. So, I mean, it's just about them being a well-balanced team. Him, using that strength in his arm as an asset instead of a negative. Those games where they lost to the Patriots when he was throwing 2 to 3 picks in the game. They could have won both of those games last year, but that youth kind of showed. And he's just going to get better and better and better. And down the road, I mean, he might end up being better than Baker. He might be better than Sam Darnold, obviously, because they don't surround him with any fucking talent. And then you got Lamar Jackson in that same draft as well. So maybe 3 out of the 4, 2 out of the 4. We'll have to see who the best ones are 5 years from now. And it also depends on who's got the best team surrounding them. And at this point, it's Josh Allen and the Bills and Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. But the Browns are slowly creeping up with a little bit of talent moving forward. Nola says Lattimore going to lock up Evans. He can't lock up Evans. Are you kidding me? Evans is a top 8 wide receiver in the league, and you could argue he's like top 5. You could argue with him and Keenan Allen and Devontae Adams on the Packers. Mike Evans is the truth. I'm not sure if you know, but within the first 6 seasons, right, the only receivers of all time to get 1,000 yards or more, only 2 all time, okay? And it's not even can't guard Mike. He hasn't got there yet, all right? It's Mike Evans and Randy Moss. So you got to do your homework, Nola. I know you love your Saints, but you're coming with the guru, the Encyclopedia Britannica of the NFL. Mike Evans ain't no dummy. Chris Godwin ain't no dummy. You are not going to stop them. And they couldn't even be stopped with Jameis Winston fucking last year. Now you got a better quarterback that's going to be able to get the passes in there, not get fucking 30 fucking interceptions like bum-ass Jameis Winston. And now he's on your team, so that's not my problem anymore. So I hope he don't have to play for you guys. But I'm just letting you know, you got nobody in your secondary that's going to be able to cover Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. That's facts. Calvin Griffin in the building. Burrow won't be much of ish without Brady. I disagree. I mean, that definitely was a big part of, the OC, calling the plays, making the structure work. But I disagree. I mean, you got a lot of talent around there. I'm going to go into my list with the pieces there, but Joe Mixon, A.J. Green, John Ross, T. Higgins. Avoid the Boyd, Tyler Boyd. I mean, if you're going based off quarterback, running back, and 4 wide receivers, I mean, there's not very many other teams in the NFL that have talent like that. And this is Joe Burrow's first year. All right, the O-line definitely needs a lot of work, okay? The defense, they got Geno Atkins, but besides that they need a lot of work. But once they get that defense kind of built up over a couple years with a couple good drafts, right, they build that O-line. I mean, who's to say that they can't make a wild card in a couple years? I mean, the Browns are starting to build their roster. The Steelers and Ravens are the top dogs, right? But in that division, pretty soon we might be saying the AFC North is the best division in football, especially when we get Baker and Burrow caught up to Lamar and Big Ben and those two franchises with the Ravens and the Steelers. So I don't know, man. I'm optimistic. I think that Burrow could be a little bit better than people think. Lattimore overrated. He said no cap. No cap. Tracy in the building. Do you think Jalen Ramsey will leave the Rams after this season? No. I think he likes it there. You're playing with Aaron Donald. He's going to lock up your favorite number 1 wide receiver when the Rams come to your house this season. I still think that he was elite when he was on the Jags, right? Then he kind of got hurt a little bit, and his stats kind of dipped a little bit within the last year and a half. But now being on the Rams from the beginning of the season, Sean McVay, the rest of the crew, him and Aaron Donald are going to cause havoc. And I feel that they have actually a sleeper chance to make the playoffs this year. Everyone's talking Niners. Everyone's talking Seahawks. But I think people don't realize that with Russell Wilson, the Seahawks are a bad football team. He's just playing so well, and he kind of hides the fact that they have the worst D-line in football. Out of 32 teams in the NFL, Seattle's D-line to me is like 31 or 32. It's at the very bottom. And then if you look at their O-line is probably bottom 5 in the NFL, probably 27, 28, 29, 30. So, I mean, if you got a shitty bottom 5 O-line, the worst D-line in football, no Legion of Boom, yeah, you got Chris Carson, you got Tyler Lockett, you got DK Metcalf, and Russell Wilson is dangerous. But they haven't really been able to build the roster. They're not good at drafting players, right? After Paul Allen died, my guy, R.I.P. Paul Allen, for the Blazers and the Seahawks, they had to go and sell the organization to these other, finance, type of corporate guys. They don't give a shit about the Seahawks. They already got their Legion of Boom, championship when Paul Allen was there. So, I mean, they don't know how to draft. Pete Carroll's a good coach, but, I mean, as far as where they were and where they are now, if they didn't have Russell Wilson, I mean, we're talking about like if it were talking NBA, they'd be a fucking lottery team. They're not a good football team. Danger Russ just keeps them in games because he's one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the NFL. But if you don't have a good O-line or a good D-line, you're fucked. And that's why they haven't been able to get to an NFC championship game or further since, the debacle and the breakup of the Legion of Boom. So if you look at your stats, that's facts. But I think Jalen Ramsey is going to stay, and especially if they make the playoffs as a wild card or surprise anyone or everyone and win the NFC West when no one thinks that they will. Everyone thinks it's Niners Seahawks, but what about Cardinals Rams? I think that those two teams got a lot of potential, and every year you see bottom teams rise up to the cream of the crop, and that's facts. Devontae Griffin, we damn boys, Cowboys in the building. Joe Burrow won't make the Bengals any much better. They still have a lot of holes to fill on offense and defense. I think he will make things better. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to go to the playoffs year 1, but I feel that Joe Burrow compared to Andy Dalton, that's a big gap. Andy Dalton to me wasn't really that great. He was average. So it may take a year or 2 for Burrow to get things under his feet, but who's to say that they won't have one of the top 10 explosive offenses in the league with all those pieces I mentioned? Joe Mixon, injury prone, right? But when healthy, can get over 1,000 and get double-digit touchdowns. A.J. Green, a couple years back, he was considered top 5 wide receiver in the whole league. Could be comeback NFL player of the year. Tyler Boyd, avoid the Boyd. Tyler Boyd, a good intermediate route runner, a guy that can get you close to 1,000 yards and 5 to 9 touchdowns, right? John Ross is the burner downfield. If he can stay healthy, he can get you at least 5 or 6 touchdowns in the season. And then T. Higgins from Clemson is the man. I mean, that's another piece right there that people are kind of sleeping on because it's not Jerry Jeudy or Henry Ruggs from the Raiders. It's not CeeDee Lamb, right? So you got to look. I mean, they have pieces there. I don't think they're that far behind. They do have a little bit of holes, right? But if you end up being such a dynamic player and he's got quick release with the talent that he has, and if they can stay healthy, I think they'll be a little bit ahead of the curve. It's like the Niners, when they went 4-12 and then 12-4 when they got Nick Bosa, right? Did you guys really think that the Niners were going to go from 4-12 to 12-4 to the Super Bowl? Fuck no. No one saw that shit coming. No one knew that Nick Bosa was going to be that good, or Deebo Samuel would have been able to work in that playbook with little Kyle Shanahan. So, I mean, things can happen sometimes a year early or 2 years early, and that's facts. Ryan Strick says, Lattimore, overrated, no cap. Uh-oh. We're getting in some trash talking now. Nola says, Lattimore, underrated. Oh, here we go, baby. Burrow won't be as good without Brady, but he's still going to be a darn good QB from what I've seen. Yeah, obviously having a great OC and a great offensive mind is huge because we've seen the dramatic increase in his stats from the year before to the 60-touchdown year. And they had a lot of talent around. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Justin Jefferson, great pieces on the defense. I mean, it was just one of the most amazing college football seasons I've ever seen, and that's facts. Big Jim Cruz predicting that Brady was going to be a Buck. Oh, predicting though. Oh, I didn't think that the Bucks had a shot. I know that. I think with Gronk, I knew I had a shot because I knew he used to live in Tampa and he had a restaurant franchise in Tampa. So once we had Brady, I kind of thought, okay, Gronk has a great shot to play with Brady. But yeah, I didn't think Brady was going to come initially. I thought Brady was going to play, with New England. And then from there, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I was thinking there could be an opportunity there, possibly, but it's the NFL. I mean, sometimes it's a lot of talk. Sometimes it's a lot of rumors, but I thought initially months back, I was this guy's going to probably go back to New England. But then when the chatter started kind of coming up where he wasn't really too happy with Belichick and obviously with Kraft, then I was like, okay, but then where is he going to go? And my team has been such a bottom feeder for so many years, Big Jim Cruz, as you know. I was like, why the hell is he going to come to my team? But I guess staying loyal to your team paid off, and here he is. Even if it's just a year or two, he's going to change just the vibe of the organization, and that's something I'm really excited for moving forward. And I'm getting a little bit close to the comments here, and I'll start the show, and I'll go through everything because I like to acknowledge everyone. Puck drops in August. Thank you, NHL, Odin's Child. Absolutely. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for MLB tomorrow. The Yankees are on tomorrow. That should be exciting, so we'll be able to see that. And then the Dodgers are going to be on against the Giants, my dad's favorite team. So I'm going to end up probably going to his house tomorrow evening and watching the Dodgers play my dad's favorite team. I'm excited to have some father-son time with him. And I'm excited for the Nats and the Yankees. That's going to be exciting. Even if you watch MLB occasionally, I would recommend tuning in. It's sports. It's something. And then we saw Bol go off today in NBA action. I'm not sure if any of y'all follow the NBA as well. And, I'm a sport fanatic. But they ended up doing some kind of drug test afterwards because he had such a gaudy stat line. He played at University of Oregon, son of Manute Bol, on the Denver Nuggets. So I can't wait for him to be able to get things going for Denver. I feel sorry for Bucks Brady going to fizzle. We'll see. We'll see. No fizzling, baby. We ain't fizzling. We're going for it. Getting to that playoffs, baby. Would you rather have a Mitchell Trubisky or Jameis Winston? Woo! Shit. Neither. Those are like the two worst quarterbacks that are out there. But if I had to choose one or the other, I probably would go Trubisky. Just because Jameis intercepts, way too often. Trubisky doesn't really throw a lot of pick sixes. Not like Jameis Winston, but he's not a good football player either. Winston, a future Hall of Famer. Nola, stop it. We'll find out if it's Belichick or Brady or was the mad scientist. It's a little bit of both. it's a little bit of Belichick, and, if you know Belichick's story, if you watch his 30 for 30, he was with the Giant organization with Lawrence Taylor, back then with Bill Parcells. So a lot of y'all, some of y'all may know that and have gone and done your history and watched football back then. And some people are like, oh, really? That's where Belichick started? So Belichick's been around for a long, long time, before he got the opportunity, to be the Browns coach, and that didn't work out. And obviously the New England Patriots is a whole nother story for another day and another video. But if you're going to be under Bill Parcells and you're going to be coaching up Lawrence Taylor and one of the best defensive players, even though if he was on coke and with all the strippers, and he was one of the most exciting linebackers that we've ever seen. So it's definitely taken him some time to get things over, but he's always been kind of considered a genius. It's just like genius pulling the strings to cheat. It ain't cheating unless you get caught, and he got caught quite a few times, and that's facts. Nola says Wentz ain't either, Lenny. Uh-oh. Now we're getting into the Eagles and the Saints talk. Winston Hall of Fame, never. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. Lenny D said, Nola, Wentz at least helped his team in the playoffs. Yeah, that's true. Wentz can't stay healthy. Oh, we're going to that now. Nola, back and forth. Six Inc. in the building. Cincinnati needs to address the O-line before thinking about competing in the conference. But, like I said, if Burrow has a good quick release with the weapons that they have, the offense might be able, with Zach Taylor, to be a little bit better than people anticipate. We're waiting on the Browns. We're waiting on the Browns with Stefanski. We assume we know what we're going to get from the Steelers. The Ravens are a Super Bowl contender, and they're legit. But I don't know. I've been evaluating the tape. I've been watching, the team websites and looking at everything. I think the Bengals, they're not going to the playoffs this season. That's facts. But I think that they'll be ahead of the curve a little bit further along than people think. They're not going to be a 2-win team or a 3-win team or a 4-win team this season, in my opinion. All right, I'm almost caught up here. Calvin Griffin, Josh Allen with the Jags will have a better career than Josh Allen with the Bills. Woo! That's debatable. Because Josh Allen with the Bills, they got a great team surrounding them. Who's to say that they can't get to an AFC championship game or 2 or 3? I like their roster a lot. And Josh Allen on the Jags, they don't really have a whole lot around him. The best thing that they can hope for is Trevor Lawrence on their roster next season. That's facts. Israel Ngakwe in the building. Is Drew Lock and the Broncos improve the season? Very much so. Like I said, no one really knows what the Chargers are going to do with Herbert or Tyrod Taylor. If Derwin James can stay healthy, that'd be fantastic for them. They've been silently building an amazing defense, player for player. Keenan Allen is the most underrated wide receiver in the league, besides maybe Kenny Golladay. So they got pieces there. Hunter Henry is going to be able to be healthy, hopefully this season. The Raiders are a few years away, in my opinion, but I think Drew Lock is going to take a big step this season, and you got Jerry Jeudy there, right? You got Cortland Sutton if you play fantasy football. He is a true number 1 wide receiver in the league, Cortland Sutton. You got KJ Hamler from Penn State, right? So you got nice wide receiving core with KJ Hamler from Penn State. You got Cortland Sutton there already established as that receiver. And then you bring in Jerry Jeudy. And then you got Royce Freeman, Melvin Gordon, Phillip Lindsay. So I think that the Broncos, they're not going to be a playoff team, but I think that they're going to be better than people are anticipating this season. I think a lot of people think the Broncos are like 2 to 3 years away. 4, maybe possibly, but they might be able to get closer to that 8-9 win range than you really think. And I think he's going to take a huge step in his game this season, Drew Lock and the Denver Broncos. And that's just me, following every single team, going to the team websites, watching the film. I would be shocked if Drew Lock regresses and goes backwards in his game. I think that they've addressed the O-line issues because that was the weak link on their team for the last couple years. So now it's just a matter of using all those weapons and making smart decisions with the football and not throwing picks like fucking Jameis Winston. That's facts. Jomo says, what if Wentz gets hurt and the rookie steps in? Odin's Child, Sack Nation will be reawoke this season. Chris Jones, Stone Cold Jones. That's facts. I'm excited for that NFL, AFC, NFC matchups. It's going to be fantastic. So I'm getting caught up here. All right. A lot of back and forth with you guys. Here we go. So I'm going to start it off now. Is Joe Burrow and the Bengals the most improved NFL team in 2020? A NFL top 5 most improved teams in 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or our GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. Number 5. Number 5 is just going to be one of those teams that has been shitty since 2007. If you're wondering who I'm talking about, it's my very own Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The additions are not heavy, but they will be impactful for the guys that they have. You brought in Tom Brady and free agency from the New England Patriots. You brought Gronk in, Rob Gronkowski. I'm excited for that. But what I'm really excited for is Tristan Wirfs, the offensive tackle, to come in to showcase his skill set, and the Minnesota superstar at wide receiver, Tyler Johnson. He has an opportunity to be the number 3 wide receiver over Brashad Perryman. So then you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Tyler Johnson, and you didn't really lose a whole lot for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to be improved. The secondary is going to be better with Justin Evans and a lot of the other people that are going to be competing for jobs at corner and safety for my Bucks. Front 7, JPP, Shaq Barrett, Ndamukong Suh, Devin White, Levante David with the jersey that I got on right now, my favorite player in the league. You only lost Carl Nassib, Bo Allen, and Brashad Perryman. So you didn't really lose a whole lot, and I gained Tom Brady, Gronk, Tristan Wirfs, the offensive tackle from Iowa in the draft, beast mode, and Tyler Johnson, the stud wide receiver as well. And I got Antonio Winfield Jr., Antonio Winfield's son, so he can end up playing in the secondary and being very versatile as well. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should be one of the top 5 improved teams going from 2019 to 2020. I could have put them, much higher on the list, but I got other teams that I'm really excited to talk about as I'm going forward. Number 5, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 4. Number 4 is a team that I think that has a legitimate shot to have one of the best offenses in the league. They have a quarterback that's going to be in the MVP running, in my opinion, this year and many years coming. And I'm not talking about necessarily Deshaun Watson. I'm talking about his counterpart, Kyler Murray. I'm talking about the Arizona Cardinals at number 4. You got DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know if it gets any fucking better than that, besides getting Julio Jones to come to the Cardinals, or Michael Thomas, or Tyreek the Freak Hill. I mean, does it get any better than DeAndre Hopkins? You already have Larry Fitzgerald there, one of the most underrated wide receivers of all time, a guy that ended up being loyal, not going for the money, amazing talent. But you got DeAndre Hopkins there. Isaiah Simmons should be one of the best defensive players that we've seen since Darius Leonard at the linebacker position for the Colts. You got Chase Young for the Redskins, but I'm really looking at Isaiah Simmons to really establish himself on the defense as linebacker, and I think he's going to be a fan favorite where people are going to go out and buy his jersey sooner than later. And for his, the other pieces, they're not really big names. You got Josh Jones, the O-lineman in the 3rd round, from Houston. No one knows who he is, but they need help on that O-line. Leki Fotu in the 4th round from Utah. Not really well known, right? But it's a guy that they can bring in. But a guy that is well known at the running back position, Kenyon Drake. I absolutely love him. He's going to be the desert god. We're not talking about Aubrey. We're talking about Kenyon Drake, and I'm really excited to see him be in the running to be a top 10 running back at the end of the season, and they have a great opportunity to be able to overachieve a year early. I mean, just imagine if they keep building that roster just like the Rams for a couple more years. They're going to get caught up to the Niners and Seahawks sooner than later. Devin Kennard, outside linebacker, from the Lions, he had 7 sacks the last 2 seasons back-to-back. So Devin Kennard is another guy. No one really knows who he is, right? But when he plays linebacker there and gets in the snaps with Chandler Jones as well, I'm really excited to see the Cardinals do some damage. And I think they're going to be very improved from last season. Number 4, the Arizona Cardinals. Number 3 is the man in the thumbnail. Do I think Joe Burrow and the Bengals are going to be the most improved? No. But I definitely think that they're going to be improved, and they should be able to make a playoff push in the next 3 years. I'm talking about the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow. T. Higgins, great addition. Joe Burrow, the number one pick, the most prolific offense that we've seen with Brady at the OC position to be able to get the most out of Joe Burrow. You got DJ Reader, the D tackle, Mackenzie Alexander and Trey Waynes at corner to replace Darqueze Dennard and Dre Kirkpatrick. And then you got safety Von Bell from the Nolans Saints. So they got some nice pieces and nice additions. Yes, they still need more O-line help. Yes, they still need more defensive help. They still got Geno Atkins there. But Zach Taylor has an opportunity with Burrow, Joe Mixon, A.J. Green, John Ross, T. Higgins. Avoid the boy, Tyler Boyd. It's sexy to me on paper, and I think that they are going to be able to get caught up with the Browns sooner than later. Now, to be able to take that next step and compete with the Steelers and Ravens, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get to that Ravens level, but I think the Steelers and the Browns, you can get there, but you're going to need to be able to get some free agents and have some good drafts the next 2 years to compete. But once they get it kind of right and get it nice and tight and everything's fluid, everyone knows the playbook, and Burrow gets his feet under him, playbook under him, I'm very confident in Joe Burrow making a move and getting their team to at least a wild card in the next 3 to 4 years, and that's facts. Number 3, the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 2. Now, I had to go through the rosters and look at pieces, but this team right here is definitely going to be better than the Bengals. I have them going to the playoffs this year as a wild card. When I read off these names, it's fucking crazy. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the offensive lineman that's the best in the NFL, representing the Indianapolis Colts, Quentin Nelson, and his guy, Phillip Rivers, at number 2, the Indianapolis Colts. He ended up getting a trade with the Niners. Got D tackle DeForest Buckner. Amazing. One of the best D tackles in the entire NFL from the O, representing Eugene and the University of Oregon. I love him. He's no longer going to be with Eric Armstead and the Niners, but they're going to really use him and love him. They're in Indianapolis. You got Phillip Rivers. He's aging. He's only got a couple years left, but I still think with the offensive line being better than what it was for him when he was on the Chargers, he should be able to make his decisions quicker. Quentin Nelson's got his back, so I'm not worried there. You got Marlon Mack. You added Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin, the running back that I fucking wanted on my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's got a shot to start right away or split carries with Marlon Mack. And you didn't really lose a whole lot either. Pierre Desir, Eric Ebron to the Steelers, Jabal Sheard, the defensive end, Clayton Geathers, the safety. But on top of getting DeForest Buckner, Phillip Rivers, a Hall of Famer, Jonathan Taylor, guess what? You also got Xavier fucking Rhodes. Rhodes closed. He's never really been the same, since the Vikings after the first couple years he came in the league, but he's got a chance to revitalize himself in this lineup, okay? And they got Malik Hooker on the back end, which is exciting. And one of my favorite players, not only Trey Burton, the tight end that used to be on the Eagles with Philly and then went to the Bears, but Michael Pittman Jr., wide receiver from USC. So you got T.Y. Hilton, okay? You got T.Y. Hilton, and you got another piece to be able to get some yards to help out Phillip Rivers. But look at that. DeForest Buckner, Phillip Rivers, Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin, the rookie running back, the stud, Xavier Rhodes. Rhodes closed, all right, Michael Pittman Jr., and Trey Burton, not bad. I mean, that's a nice fucking haul, and I can definitely see the Colts, they only lost Pierre Desir, Eric Ebron, Jabal Sheard, and Clayton Geathers. Big fucking deal. I can definitely see the Colts competing with the Titans. I'm not sure if they're going to be better than the Titans. I doubt it, but I still think that they'll have enough with the rest of the talent surrounding Rivers, where he doesn't have to play great. He just doesn't have to play horrible for them to get to that 9 to 10 win range and to be able to get in as a wild card team, and that's facts. Number 2, the Indianapolis Colts. Number one is going to be my guy from Alabama. This conference in the AFC East has been dominated by the New England Patriots. But I think that this team is on their way, and we're talking about the Miami Dolphins at number 1 with Tua Tagovailoa. So key additions, Byron Jones. Byron Jones from the Cowboys. I absolutely love that. Then you bring in Tua from Bama. Could be the next Michael Vick, a.k.a. Steve Young, Scotty Mitchell type-ish quarterback. I'm excited. Boomer Esiason-ish kind of player, right? You got Austin Jackson, the offensive tackle from USC, underrated, so that'll be able to give him some protection up front. Kyle Van Noy from New England. I love that, the defensive end. Another defensive end, Shaq Lawson. I absolutely love that. Running back Jordan Howard. He's still got a little bit of game left. Matt Breida from the 49ers. And you only lost Rashad Jones. So let me say that again. Byron Jones. Who? Byron Jones. Tua Tagovailoa, Austin Jackson, the USC offensive tackle rookie, Kyle Van Noy, Shaq Lawson, D-ends, Jordan Howard, Matt Breida, and you only lost Rashad Jones. So the Miami Dolphins, they're coming. You know what I mean? If they have 2 more solid drafts, it wouldn't surprise me if they compete for a wild card sooner than later. I like them and their progression a little bit further along than the Bengals, but these teams are coming. You know, I think the Colts, the Cardinals, and the Bucks have a chance to make the playoffs this season. The Colts and the Bucks, to me, for sure. Cardinals might be a year or 2 away, but if they overachieve and Seattle gets banged up with Dangerous, there's going to be a spot open right behind the 49ers, and it could be either Cardinals or the Rams that take advantage. And then you got the Dolphins and Bengals won't make the playoffs with Joe Burrow or Tua Tagovailoa, but I like what they're doing with their rosters. We're just going to have to see how they can, you know, evaluate the talent, the draft, the free agency, and that process moving forward. And that is my top 5. Is Joe Burrow and the Bengals the most improved NFL team in 2020? My NFL top 5 most improved teams in 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or our GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. And I'll end up doing, you know, MVP, you know, videos, who I think is, Rookie of the Year on the offense, Rookie of the Year on the defense. I mean, I got plenty of shows that I can come up with everything that I got going on. I mean, as soon as I get home, I'm always doing film study, research, reading, and I usually stay up until about midnight or later, 1 in the morning, to get the most out of my day in these 24 hours, to go to all the team websites, to really be on everything, and that's facts. All right, I'm scrolling down, trying to see where I left off with the comments. See a lot of people talking shit back and forth. All right, here we go. Dez wants to be a Chief so bad, Trick says. Begging to practice with Patrick Mahomes and McCole Hardman over the offseason. I did see the Tyreek the Freak Hill T.O. Race, and then they had Chad Johnson there as well. So that could be something that I could react to. I haven't really seen the full video, so that's an idea of something that I could do based off Tyreek the Freak Hill's video that he put out a day or two. But they have been putting out some fire NFL compilations, so I don't know if Highlight Heaven or some of the other channels can come up with some kind of package, but they did the best throws of 2019 for Aaron Rodgers. They did a highlight package of the best of Honey Badger for the Chiefs last season, and I got to take a peek a little bit at each video when I was at work, and they looked fire. So, I mean, if I can react to those without them pulling my video or blocking it, because the NFL is kind of stingy about that stuff, I definitely would want to be able to react to those. They did a Chris Godwin. They've been really firing off a lot of team videos and player videos, highlight videos, the best of last year in 2019 for specific athletes. And they need to be able to put that stuff out, you know, to kind of keep us busy, since we're not going to have a preseason. And that's facts. All right, Jay Dallas, you think y'all can make the playoffs? I'm not sure if that's regarded towards me and Tampa Bay Buccaneers or some of these other guys that are in the room, but I definitely think the chance for the playoffs for my Tampa Bay Bucks is a reality. Bro, Bobo and Jokic, the Joker, man, yeah, they are crazy. I definitely got a chance to watch a little bit of the highlight package when I was at work. I was kind of tuning in. Some of the dunks and the kind of just ability of Bol Bol running up and down the floor is scary for a guy that big. And I used to watch his dad, Manute Bol, and obviously Jokic, the Joker. He's one of the most underrated athletes in the whole entire NBA, and that's fact. So at least we get back to NBA soon. MLB tomorrow. Things are starting to kind of get closer, from now until, the next few weeks, and until we have all the sports kind of going back and forth, and that's facts. All right, I'm scrolling and trying to get caught up. I see a lot of different arguments going back and forth. All right, so I'm all the way down at the top here. 6 Inc. Top 100 Players of 2020 is happening Sunday. I'm pumped for that. Yeah, I'll definitely watch that. Lenny D says, I wish we kept Jordan Howard. 2, the Dolphins did what I've been screaming us to do, give him a cheap deal of 2 years. Yeah, that would have been nice to be able to have someone back up Miles Sanders. That's facts. Shrick Orion, I got someone who can lock up your Godwin. Okay, I see you. Oh, Strick, my guy. Big Jim Cruz, out of all the NFL teams, who has the best website? Woo, that's a good question. I mean, a lot of y'all, when you end up, going to your team websites, I mean, there's a lot of them that I like. I like the Eagles website. I always check out the Nylon Saints and everyone in the NFC South. So I'm always on the Panthers, Falcons, Tampa Bay Saints, 49ers, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Chiefs. And there's a lot of them that are put together very well, and also they have a lot of good links when you go to all the team websites, because no one really does it except for me. You'll go to your own team website, but I like also going to like teams' Twitters, because I'm on Twitter. That's my favorite social media app to use. I'm not really big on Facebook. I really don't like Instagram that much, to be honest, but Twitter is my thing. So obviously when I'm not on YouTube, I'm on Twitter 24/7. Otherwise, I'm on the team websites. I'm on YouTube. I'm on NFL Network. I'm watching film. I'm watching games. I'm watching highlights. I'm watching plays broke down, from different athletes. They did a Calais Campbell breakdown of his film that came out like yesterday, and I watched that. So, but a lot of the fans of y'all that are in the building, you guys got really nice ones. I mean, and they have been that way for quite some time. And it's usually more of the popular teams really put a little bit more into their team websites. But I like the links and the extra original content that you get from certain ones. Certain beat writers, from certain team websites are better than others. But when they end up having good, good memes, GIFs, good links to Twitter, good highlight packages, behind-the-scenes photos, behind-the-scenes articles, behind-the-scenes videos with the players interacting with each other, not playing football. That's the type of shit I like to see, because I want to be able to see, like when we did the Cam Newton, Victor Cruz, Todd Gurley, Odell Beckham interview. I don't know if any of y'all saw that, but I recommend you guys watch that if you haven't. They talk about, COVID, coronavirus. They talk about the injustices in America right now, NFL, anything and above. They kind of touch on a lot of stuff that's going in society right now and NFL. So it's kind of cool to be able to see their personalities, even though Cam was kind of sipping on the wine a little bit and started to take over the conversation a little bit too much in that interview. But it's a good, solid, I think it's 45 minutes to an hour or so. It's pretty solid, and I would recommend watching it. It gives you a little behind the scenes of what Todd Gurley's about, what Victor Cruz, Cam Newton, and Odell Beckham are about, behind the limelight and behind the scenes of just being the man and the stud, out there on the NFL field. Calvin Griffin, Van Jefferson winning it. Okay, I see you. Lenny D says, Ryan Strick, I can see a guy like Justin Jefferson winning it, or Jerry Jeudy with the weapons the Broncos got. Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, that's nice, but it all depends on Drew Lock and his development this season. I mean, we really don't know. I mean, Justin Jefferson could get the most targets, even though Thielen is still there. It really just depends, what player gets the most opportunities and then takes the most of it. CeeDee Lamb is still going to be with Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper, but I know he's going to have an amazing stat line. I actually like him a lot too, so we will see. Israel says, Michael... He says, okay, so it's Michael. Okay, Michael versus Mike Evans. Okay, can't guard Mike. You only hope to contain him. He said that's the best matchup. Bouye, Chris Godwin, Michael Thomas. Okay, Bouye versus Emmanuel Sanders. Okay, I see you. Yeah, there's going to be some good matchups. I'm excited to be able to see what's going to happen this season. And obviously I don't play the Eagles. I looked at the schedule and peeked ahead at some of the other people's schedule this season. So I think we play the NFC North this season, so we don't play the East. And then we play the AFC West, because I know the Chiefs play Tampa Bay, and that'll be lit. So I'm really excited for that. I mean, even if we end up getting stomped, it should be a fun matchup. Yeah, Saints play the Chiefs as well. So we'll see. We'll see if the Saints or the Bucs can find a way to compete with the best team in the NFL. Eagles play the NFC West. Woo, that's going to be tough, especially when the Cardinals and Rams are coming. We'll see what Seattle does. Niners should still be pretty good. Live stream. Oh, I know, Odin's Child. Yeah, that definitely better be on TV. Chiefs, Bucks. I mean, as long as I don't lose by like fucking 30, at least let me compete out there. But I mean, as far as the hype going in, Mahomes, Brady, kind of passing the torch kind of thing, it'll be really exciting to watch. Not only that game, but the Saints and the Chiefs will be exciting. Breeze and Mahomes. I mean, we're going to be able to see a lot of matchups that we haven't seen before. Yeah, Sack Nation definitely is going to be in the building that day. Ryan Strange in the building. What division is Baltimore in? The AFC North. They're there with the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Browns. That's facts. Is Joe Burrow and the Bengals the most improved NFL team in 2020? A NFL Top 5 most improved teams in 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy like Odin's Child did. Bang! $10. My boy representing always Chiefs Kingdom. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. So I'm going to do the show one more time for anyone that just hopped in a little bit late, and you guys can banter back and forth, and I can answer some of the questions that you guys have, and then I'll probably end the stream. I want to make it an hour and a half or earlier or sooner. I want to make sure that it's short enough where people can kind of touch base on it if they didn't get a chance to watch the live. So as we go into my NFL Top 5 most improved teams in 2020, at number 5, and Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski. You already know what it is. It's my Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5. I definitely could have put them at 4 or 3 or 2, but I wanted to give some love and some shine to some of these other teams that are there. The Bucs got Tom Brady somehow, some way. Then you lured Gronk out of retirement and out of the WWE and the 24/7 championship. So now you got Brady and Gronk. You got a little bit of magic to come back to Tampa Bay. Offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs from Iowa. I love that. And the sleeper wide receiver in the draft from Minnesota, the Big Ten, Tyler Johnson, has an opportunity to be my wide receiver number 3 to compare with Godwin, Evans, and Tyler Johnson. And the only losses that they had, Carl Nassib, DN, big deal. Bo Allen, D tackle, big deal. And Brashad Perryman, that was the 3rd string wide receiver that Tyler Johnson took his spot. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 5. Number 4. Number 4 is a team that I feel that is going to rise to the cream of the crop. They could even make a playoff appearance a year or two early. They got an MVP candidate at the quarterback position. I'm not talking Dak Prescott. I'm not talking Deshaun Watson, but I am talking Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Somehow, you ended up swindling the Texans and Bill O'Brien for DeAndre Hopkins. So you got DeAndre Hopkins. You bring in the stud linebacker, one of the best ones I've seen in years, besides maybe Darius Leonard for the Colts and Isaiah Simmons. He is going to be a rocket out of the linebacker position. He's going to get so many sacks, tip passes, interceptions, fumble recoveries. He's going to do it all. I can't wait to see him play. Offensive line, you got Josh Jones from Houston in the 3rd round, Leki Fotu in the 4th round from Utah from the D-line. Kenyon Drake, not only the fish god when he was in Miami, we're not talking Aubrey, we're talking Kenyon Drake, the desert god. He is going to be in line for a top 10 rushing season. He's going to have a lot of competition with Raheem Mostert and a few of the other guys, but I'm excited to see what Kenyon Drake, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, Andy Isabella, Christian Kirk. That is sexy on paper. You still need some more O-line, and you still need defense, but you got Chandler Jones, Budda Baker, and Isaiah Simmons, and that is a good start. Number 4, the Arizona Cardinals. Number 3, is Joe Burrow and the Bengals the most improved NFL team in 2020? No, but I do love them a lot. Cincinnati Bengals. You had Brady at the OC at LSU. People think that he's the only reason Joe Burrow developed. There is some truth to that. But I do love Joe Burrow's development, his confidence, his swag, and I think that he's going to develop a little bit quicker than people think. They still will not make the playoffs this season, but look for them to take some leaps this season. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins from Clemson at the wide receiver position, D tackle DJ Reader, cornerback Mackenzie Alexander and Trey Waynes from Minnesota, picked up safety Von Bell from the New Orleans Saints, and you only lost Dalton, big deal, Darqueze Dennard and Dre Kirkpatrick at the cornerback positions. So we'll see with Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, A.J. Green, comeback player of the year, John Ross, deep threat. Avoid the Boyd, Tyler Boyd, intermediate route, stud, and you got T. Higgins, the rookie. I like that a lot. Cincinnati Bengals at number 3. Number 2 probably had the biggest haul in the offseason besides number 1. The names need to prove themselves. Some of the players played great. Others started to kind of dip in production. So I still haven't given up on some of these guys that I'm going to name off, and a lot of these guys I really love. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Indianapolis Colts at number 2. Key pickups this season, DeForest Buckner with that trade with the 49ers from my Oregon Ducks, representing Eugene to the fullest. I love me some DeForest Buckner, a top 10 D tackle in the league. Love him. You bring in an aging Phillip Rivers. We're not expecting a whole lot, but as long as he doesn't turn the ball over like a Jameis Winston, they can still make a wild card and compete with the Titans. You got running back Jonathan Taylor, arguably one of the best running backs that's not named Clyde Edwards-Helaire from the Chiefs, or DeAndre Swift. From where? The Lions, or maybe a Cam Akers from Florida State on the Rams. I love me some Jonathan Taylor. That's who I wanted for my Buccaneers. We'll see what he does, splitting time with Marlon Mack. And then they got Xavier Rhodes. Rhodes closed. When he first came in, he was lit. Then he started to kind of go downhill. You know what I mean? But maybe a change of scenery can help him bounce back confidence-wise. I think there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Not a lot of light at the end of the tunnel, but a little. So we'll see how he plays with Malik Hooker on the back end. And a wide receiver that I really love, a sleeper, Michael Pittman Jr. from USC. And then you got tight end Trey Burton from the Philly famous play in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, from the Eagles to the Bears and now the Colts. That's a nice little haul, all right? Key losses, Pierre Desir, the corner, Eric Ebron, the tight end to the Steelers, right? Jabril Sheard, DN, and safety Clayton Geathers. So you didn't really lose a whole lot, and the pieces that you gained were nice. I absolutely love them. Number 2, the Indianapolis Colts. And then number 1, we're going my guy from Alabama, Roll Tide. I think Rick Ross is happy. We're talking about the Miami Dolphins at number 1. Key additions, Byron Jones. Byron Jones from the Cowboys. Tua Tagovailoa. Will he be Steve Young? Will he be Michael Vick? Will he be the left-handed version of Lamar Jackson? We don't know. Can he stay healthy? Possibly. But I'm excited to see what this Steve Young, Scotty Mitchell, Michael Vick hybrid, Boomer Esiason, is going to bring out to the Miami Dolphins, but they're going to be relevant again. Austin Jackson, the offensive tackle from USC, underrated. Kyle Van Noy from the Patriots, a huge steal at DN. Shaq Lawson at the other side at DN. Jordan Howard and Matt Breida, running backs. Those are going to be nice additions to be able to put together. And then on top of that, you only lost Rashad Jones. So you didn't really lose a whole lot. You had a whole lot of money, in obviously that time window to be able to spend for your franchise. We need to see them have a good draft for the next 2 years or so, and don't be surprised if the Miami Dolphins come knocking on the door for a wild card in the next 3 years. Number 5, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 4, the Arizona Cardinals. Number 3, the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 2, the Indianapolis Colts. And number 1, the Miami Dolphins. So I hope everyone had a good show today. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I hope you enjoyed the show. Like I said, it's hot as fuck in my room right now. I mean, it's like 110 in here. I don't have the AC on because I have to plug in all my equipment. But NFL Network has got the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks on. I believe it might be Russell Wilson's rookie year. So it's some nice film to be able to watch for Player's Choice. So I'm going to be watching some film. I'm going to be going to some team websites. I'm going to be going on Twitter. I'm going to be grinding. Like I said, I appreciate every single one of y'all that ended up hopping in and enjoying yourselves, arguing in the stream, commenting, donating. Odin's Child, $10. Bang, my guy. I appreciate you guys. Eagles fans in the building, Saints fans in the building, Chiefs fans in the building, everyone else in the building. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Calvin Griffin, Young Nola, Big Jim Cruz, Lenny D, all the rest, Ryan Strick, and all of y'all. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I could still, take this stream for another hour or two, but I got a lot of research and game film that I want to do, so I've been trying to keep these streams for about an hour to an hour and a half. So enjoy your hump day. Enjoy your Wednesday. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Your boy's been on a tear and on a grind, and I'll come up with some more original content and some more videos and live streams for you either tomorrow. I mean, the Dodgers and MLB baseball debut tomorrow with the Nationals and the Yankees and the Dodgers and Giants. So I'm going to be at my dad's house in the evening tomorrow, and I get off at 4. So I might try to squeeze out some type of video prior to that. But if you don't see me online tomorrow, I'll end up being back on Friday. So you guys take care, wash them hands, be safe, and I will be back very shortly again. Is Joe Burrow and the Bengals the most improved NFL team in 2020? A NFL top 5 most improved teams in 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com, or our GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. Thank you guys. You guys are the best fans, the Fanatic family on YouTube. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I'll be back very soon. Peace. Later. Lenny D, Israel, Calvin Griffin, Shrek, Nola. Love you guys. Can't stop, won't stop. I'll be back. Late. TG Taz, I won't forget about you. Later, my guy. Peace out.